Hey Void, how you doing? So, I decided to finally get around to, well, I don't know if finally is the right term, these only came in a little while ago, but I've actually gotten a couple of requests down in the comments, so I was deciding to try to finally look into some of those and start seeing what I could do there. Well, the first request, I wasn't able to do right off the bat. I'm going to get to it at some point. I just have to keep an eye out for an opportunity. And that was for Bad Ben, which I had never heard of before it got suggested to me, and now I've seen it pop up like a place or two as some sort of cult found footage, low budget with a million sequels. It's got some sort of following, so I'm curious about it. But as I either like to, if I'm going to stream something, I don't want to pay money for that I'm not already paying, so it wasn't on any of the platforms I'm currently subscribed to. And looking at their main site, were a little pricey for just either renting or a subscription. So putting the brakes on that for the second, unless I can find like a physical copy, which apparently do exist. But right now on the main site, they just have like a flash drive with the files for all the movies that they're selling, and I prefer like a physical disc. So we'll see. So, moved on to the next one, which was a pair of werewolf films suggested by Gunstash. Now, thank you Gunstash for these recommendations. I had actually not seen either of these films. I hadn't actually heard of before. Not the one I'm doing right now, but now that I'm actually paying attention, of course I'm seeing it pop up on a couple communities I follow. But I decided to go with Howl, as that was the one that I could find the quickest. And, okay, so Howl is a 2015 British werewolf flick. And searched it up and found it on both Shudder and Tubi. So pull up on Shudder and I'm taking a look at the case and I'm like, I'd seen the cover before and I had passed on it more than once. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a doubt just looking at it, but I steeled myself and remember Absentia? Not good box cover, great movie. And also, never judge a film like that, like Gonjiam, not a great cover, found it in a dollar bin at Dollar Tree. Love the film. So, threw that aside, okay, let's go in and take a look at this thing. Because the werewolf on the cover, for what's popping up there, wasn't that impressive. Pulling it up on IMDb, they have a much better cover. So, raise the hopes a little bit. So, essentially our premise is we're following what was his name? IMDb's not helping with naming for the characters, but essentially we're on a train. And that's pretty much our model for this movie and kind of what sets it apart. It's essentially a werewolf. It's like dog soldiers by way of Train to Busan, and okay, I can be down for that. So, essentially, we're mostly following the security guard on this train, who just got passed over for a promotion. He's been ordered to a double shift. He's having a rough go of it on an utterly thankless job. And as he's doing a red-eye train run, he just gets shot down by a girl, and the passengers are already annoyed with him, or just outright think he's collecting ticket money from someone who really doesn't think they should have to pay. The one girl thinks he's a pervert. A lot of problems going on there as he's just trying to do his job, but people are not making it easy. When the train finally stalls out, and the conductor goes to look for it, and then later goes missing, now they're stranded in the middle of the woods, with no way of moving the train, with help apparently at least 4 hours away. So when they try to walk out, they are, attacked by something in the woods. And then away we go. One werewolf continually tries to attack and get in, while they try to figure out what it is, what's going on. And when the older lady gets hurt and bitten by the creature, and then we proceed to go battle against the werewolf, only to discover later there's not just one creature. And our old lady may be turning also. So, it's how do we survive? How do we get out? Okay, so first off, there's a lot to go into here, and overall I will say that, yeah, I did enjoy this film. I wouldn't call it like a great movie, but it was definitely an above average one. So, first off, werewolf design. They definitely did more of a non-traditional route of making them look a bit more human than werewolf. I mean, they still got like the fangs and a wolf like. You can clearly see that they're more like a human-wolf hybrid rather than just an upright anthropomorphic wolf. And I was digging that. Also, I like how the werewolves don't look exactly the same. Some of them are a little bit more hulking, some of them are live. Some of them don't look completely symmetrical, and that design's good. They kind of make it seem like some sort of disease that warped them like this, so having them look a little bit ragged was definitely working for me. Also, I would say my favorite thing in this movie was the old lady when she started turning, the way her eyes looked, the way she just had this maniacal grin and was like just clawing around at people. That was beautiful, and she just had this freaky look about her. So I really enjoyed that aspect here. Her going native with the werewolves was great. Now, at first, I did not like this cast. Oh, the actors were doing great. Don't get me wrong. I should say I didn't like the characters. Our main guy I was on board with, but his love interest, but everyone else just was so hard to warm up to. But I'm pretty sure that was intentional, because as the movie goes on, they slowly are warming up to each other and beginning to help each other out, as no one seems to like or respect the security guard until things get going, and then now, as they start relying on him, they start pulling together more and more, with the exception of the one obvious asshole character that you're just rooting for to get mauled. But everyone else, at first, while seeming off-putting, does eventually warm up, and you get to like them along the way a lot more. So I will say that did work for me. I was a little concerned towards the beginning, but overall, I'm just glad they didn't just set us up with a group of people who are just waiting to get killed. At first, you might not care for them, but you do warm to them. And I think that worked pretty well. The music overall wasn't like standoutish, but it never really took me out of it. And the atmosphere worked for like the creepy train setting. They did a good job of just, for having mainly one or two locations, train and woods, they made it work pretty well. And they did just have some effective shots, like the one girl being up in the tree being savaged. Again, looked pretty well. The gore effects were good. I wasn't expecting the level of practical effects. There was maybe a CG touch-up here or there, but for the most part, overall, there nothing that was taking me out of it. Which, for a mid-2010s lower-budget horror film, I can appreciate that. So, this one's not reinventing the wheel. They don't really add much to existing werewolf lore. There's nothing like completely original here, but it's a fun setup, a fun premise. It's an easy movie to get in, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. So I would give this one a good 6 MacGuffins. Slightly above average, but I don't know how often I'd go back to it. But if I stumbled across a copy in the wild, I would gladly add this one to my personal collection. So, yeah, I thank you for the recommendation. And I will definitely get to the other one that you suggested at some point. I've still got my infinite backlog, and I'm watching through my own things, but I am looking forward to getting a few more of these requests done. I'll try to do at least maybe one per week as long as I have them. So maybe sometime next week we'll take a look into Where, or if I come across Bad Ben. We'll see. Alright, see you later, Void, and pleasure talking to you.